Pretty soon it's okay. Here we go. We're live.
Are we live?
Yes.
It says off air. Right over there.
It says live on my end.
Oh, it says live now.
Oh. Now it says it. So that was a delay. Okay, I'm ready. Well, ready? Sorry about the kooky start, but we've had some technical difficulties. But we're still here. So all the other sorts, I have a different background than I usually do, but we'll get into that. So welcome to the Wednesday Hangout with Mentors, and I'm Susan Batchelder, just in case you don't know, and I'm here with my unstoppable partner, Tammy Montgomery. Hello, Tammy.
Hey, Susan. How's it going?
How's it going? Jinx. And also on the panel with us, I'll get into our topic right away, but also on the panel with us, we have a special guest, Mr. Michael Leedy. Hey, Michael.
Hi, how are you?
Awesome. So I'll get into what's going on after I state the topic. So live from New York. I am not in my usual home, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. I am coming to you live from New York in Michael Leedy's apartment, actually. He's just on the other side of this wall. I booted him out of. And what we're discussing with you today, and what we want to share with you is how to... What's that?
Are you on my Wi-Fi or are you on your network? Sorry to interrupt.
Your Wi-Fi.
Huh. Continue. I'm sorry to interrupt. It keeps cutting out.
Oh, that might be why. Not sure.
Okay.
Also, because I'm on this iPad, so I don't know how it holds, like how the Hangouts really work on the iPads as well.
Is mine breaking up?
No, not at all.
Interesting. Sorry to interrupt your flow. We were losing you, so I wanted to make sure you were on my Wi-Fi.
Am I
Continue,
cutting
Susan.
for you, Tammy?
No, I can hear you really good.
Oh. Okay, perfect. So what we're going to discuss is how to maximize your impact. And it's something that we will continue to master and improve upon, but it's something that, and we have a lot of proof that we can share, it's something that we've done really well at, especially in the last year. So it's not a new topic to us, and we just want to share that value with you, and just kind of go from there. So that's what we're coming to you with. We also have two other members that are probably going to be popping on within the next few minutes. And so we'll just carry on from there. Tammy, do you have anything like right off the bat that you want to talk about?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is people want to know, why is it that is to help people, of course, and so maximizing your time. This is one of the tools. Maximizing your impact, like Susan just said. People want to know who they're going to be joining with, who is going to be the leader, so to speak. So in the beginning of my career, the big ticket industry especially, I actually watched something similar to this. Of course, I watched a webinar and I thought, wow, this is amazing. This person is transparent, this person is speaking, and he knows what he's talking about. So I think that's one of the things that people want if they're a new person or if they're advanced. They just want something like this, Susan, and I think that's what your specialty is bringing people onto events like this, Hangouts specifically, and you've taught myself especially how to be more, I've always been a phone person, I'm a one-on-one kind of a person, so I just think that having this video, the human touch, if you want to call it, of course we call it that, is really, really something that people are looking for nowadays, and it's really a trend. It's really trending, and so that's what's so cool about our specific network, is to have see us. You know, so many times you and I get phone calls, and I just had one a half an hour ago, and they're just like, oh, I recognize your voice from that video. So, so it's really good. It's an impact, and you want people, and that's what we're teaching people is not just to, you know, just to get by, right? No one wants to get by in life. They want to have an impact. What we're doing here. So.
Exactly. Michael, do you want to jump in on your thoughts on the topic with that?
You know, I'm going to kind of still follow the lead here because, you know, impact. I'm trying to figure out how my expertise fits in to what you guys are talking about because I kind of come from a different angle. So, you know, in my expertise being, you know, web development and social media, you know, impact is all visual. Impact is video. You know, that's everywhere where we're driving our clients' content towards. So, you know, let's listen to you ladies and just tell me where you want to jump in when it comes to those angles because, you know, I want to hear what you have to say.
Absolutely, and I want to just kind of like frame, set the groundwork and frame it for everybody, and then actually I have an idea where both you and Tammy can definitely add to this. The cool thing about, and especially about our working relationship, the three of us that you see on the panel here, it's really cool because we literally have an interlinking kind of professional relationship. So what I mean by that, we each come to the table with our own unique passions, inspirations, strengths, character, and essence of self, which is because it's unique and because we respect each other's uniqueness and value, we work really well together. So the differences and the sames create a really cool interlinking and more powerful impact, which is really cool. So anyway, playing on that and setting the groundwork, what are we talking about impact, and what are we talking about maximizing it? And Tammy mentioned something that we love to discuss and how well we do it, and it's called relationship building and being human, right? Humanizing this digital world, a digital arena that we're in. And that's not even only to do with marketing. I mean, we do massive amounts of big ticket sales because that's what we're doing. But even in general, like when you're having a conversation with your friend or your daughter or your husband or mom, and if it's just through the text kind of messages or emails back and forth, you can miss a huge portion of the intonation, the meaning behind it, what you're truly trying to get the message across. Like you might be, the person reading it might get a whole different perspective of what you're aiming to communicate if it's only digital. So that's what we mean by humanizing the digital marketing and humanizing. So it's putting a face, putting personality and emotion into it. So the challenge here, and I wrote this down so I remember it because it's kind of a roundabout, one of those roundabout statements. The challenge lies in recording humanity without interrupting humanity. So what does that mean? That means being real, being authentic. So you can aim to record your human side, but if too scripted, if it's too made to be professional, it not show your true essence. And that's what Tammy was talking about, where she picks up the phone and people say right away they fit into how her conversation is. It's because we're real through all of our social media posts, through our videos and everything. We keep it real so we don't have to step into a character per se when we answer the phone and speak to a prospect. Is that kind of making sense, Tammy? I'm going, like, I don't want to go too far ahead before I misstep.
That's perfect.
Okay. So
no, that's exactly. You just hit it on the head right there.
Okay, cool. So then the one last thing that I want to say before I go out for your side of this, which is just really powerful, is the three things to remember when you're doing this. And they're easy to remember once you get these words, because the 3 I words. So initiate. So you have to start it, right? You have to start the conversation, just like we did here. All 3 of us, you know that who we are, because we started off by saying, like I said, I am Susan Batch. I'm with my unstoppable partner, Tammy Montgomery, and introduced Lady. So you put a name to who you are. Initiate. So with everything you initiate, that's the first impression, and then you want to intercept what they're thinking, and then you go for the impact. And you want to be compelling, and you want it to be. I mean, it's not always going to be breathtaking, but you want to. It's like a stop and start. You want to go for an impact, and how you do that is by emotion. People need changes. Maybe they're, how do you describe that, Tammy? When their back is against the wall, when there's nothing else, no other options. So you want to share what the benefit of what you're offering is to them. That's where the impact. So you want to speak by maximizing the impact. You have to speak directly to the people that you know will benefit from whatever service, product, or opportunity you're sharing with them. And that's how we maximize it. So it's figuring out who your target audience is and speaking right to them.
Exactly.
Do you have anything to add on at that point, Tammy?
No, it was a really good point about making sure that you're clear on how you can help that person problem, and that's solvers. Like every business that you can think of is pretty much a problem solver, right? So we're the aspirin to a person's problem if they don't have any income coming in, for example. Come to Susan and I, and they're floating around, and they're really not sure, and so her and I felt the same exact way. When you get out from underneath and what I call the floor bottoms out, then you got to look for something. You got to look for something that's simple, that's duplicatable, of course, that you can plug right in. And so that's what we are. We're here to help your problem of making money. So that's what I wanted to interject right there.
Yeah, exactly. And how do we do that? Through storytelling, right? And
exactly.
That goes back to the 3 R's that we often talk about. We talk about the 3 magic R's often, and that's reach, resonance, and relevance. So you aim to, and this is where Michael Eady ties in, is he helps people reach their target audience, like kind of that in-between piece. So we're going to get to that right away. You reach the right people, and then you have to share the essence of you, the benefit of your product, so that you resonate with them, and it has to be relevant. So talking to the right people is where that comes into play. Pretty cool once the whole picture is kind of painted a little bit clearer, isn't it?
It really is. It's magical.
Some of the big challenges, and I believe this is what you two solve for people, is they don't know who their target audience is. Like, because they're so kind of lost in themselves, and then they may even have a product. Let's say they have something, but they don't know who they're talking to, because they may even think their target audience is everyone, and that's so your reach when you say, oh well, it's everyone, because it really we know that it is, but unless you focus it first, it's not going to necessarily work. So could you think about this? So let's say your target audience could be everyone, right? Who is going to help you get the largest impact up front so that you can then branch out to the ones that might not help you get as much? And when I say impact, I mean income, right? So like, for example, if your target audience is small businesses and you work on web development, so I'm kind of talking about like us, so if it's small businesses, a small business might have the overhead to pay for a website. They might have that money, but they might not have the consistent income to do that. So like, how if we help them then we have to cut a big deal. But let's say we focus on people like network marketing. Now they have a larger overhead, like they make so much more money. You focus on them, and you're not gonna have to cut as many deals. You can work on less projects so you can make more impact there, and then you can start helping the other people. So who is your initial target audience? That's just what I want to add to this piece of it, because you brought up target audience. Does that feel like it fits in, ladies?
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. And then if you don't figure out who your specific target audience is, you might not be speaking the right language. So.
And there's that.
Yeah. So you won't impact appropriately if you're not speaking to the right people.
Where can you have the biggest impact first?
Yeah, exactly.
Hit the ground running.
Yeah. And really, when it comes right down to it, I mean, we could get pretty detailed, and we definitely don't want to lose your attention as the audience, but it can be just as simple as storytelling. You tell your story, just like Tammy mentioned, that relatability. Many people have had the floorboards drop out from under them, and if that's you, tell your story. Just be real and tell your story. People are going to go, oh, I totally know how that feels. Boom, you've made an impact. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. I was always looking for someone. I mean, it's cool to say, X, I don't know, or something like that. But if I see a title that says X mortgage broker, of course my eyes are going to go zing. It's just like, when you buy a red car or a specific kind of car, like let's say a red Jeep, all of a sudden, oh, I see that red Jeep everywhere. So it's the same thing. So it's going to be relevant to your audience when you say, like Susan would say, do that on purpose. You do it on purpose in your marketing. And then those eyeballs are like, oh, and how Susan and I worked together is she was a nurse, so there's a lot of people that were in that medical field. And right now, chiropractors, we're attracting a lot of chiropractors because Susan was in the health field. See what I mean? So when you share your story, and then people will really, really just gel with you. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, wow. Yeah, I went through that. I know exactly what she's talking about. So it's really, really very effective. And then you reeled them in.
Yeah, exactly. And boom, you've created that relationship.
Exactly.
So super cool. I lost my train of thought. I was going to say something directed towards you, Michael.
Oh, well, and it's funny as you're talking about this stuff.
Anyway.
I'm thinking about, can you hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
No. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Sorry. It's kind of breaking up, so it's tough for me sometimes. I'm listening to you going, wow, this is really cool, because I'm about to start this project that I'm going to refer to as, my midlife crisis, right? Now, people, you might be thinking to yourself, why would you want to talk about midlife crisis at, I'm 38? And the reason why is because I know so many people in this category, this age demographic, that hate their lives, and they feel stuck, and they don't know what they can do next because they're in this chunk of their life, and they're going, oh my gosh, I can't make anything change. I can't change my life. I've been doing this for so long. So I figure if I lead with my midlife crisis and talk about the process of going through leaving the music industry that I was very successful in, and then kind of falling off the map and reinventing myself and teaching myself a whole new set of skills that I knew nothing about. This is how I met Susan, by the way, you guys, and Tammy. But I taught myself all these skills because I wanted to get out of a career, right? So I'm going to lead with my midlife crisis because so many people feel that way in their 30s, and they're going to go, oh my gosh, yes, I feel that way too. They may not be the music industry people, but I know someone who's leaving fashion to become a nurse. Now, does he really want to become a nurse? He thinks he does because he works, 24 hours a day in fashion, but then if he goes to nursing, he's going to probably work, how many hours a day do they work? And that's a tough job right there, Susan, But there's so many people going through this. You know, us as online entrepreneurs who are humanizing digital marketing, we can help intercept those people on the way through to try to figure out what they're doing so we can guide them towards something that's actually more freeing than getting another job where you have to be stuck in a place, be told what to do, how to do, when to do, and get approval for everything, right? So leading with, you know, listening to you talk about this, like we relate to people, and I'm thinking midlife crisis, same thing. And so is it really a crisis? Not really, it's just a reinvention, but people relate to that because they're kind of falling apart right now. That's what I wanted to add, because it's kind of like, kind of related to what you guys are talking about.
Yeah, that's a good point, because some people think that I am going through one, and I'm not. I said, no, I'm just reinventing myself. I'm going to be 49 in July, so, but a lot of people have been a lot of people have been relating to me because of that, you know what I'm saying? So that
Exactly.
was perfect, Michael. That was perfect timing right there, bud.
Perfect. Okay, good. Thank you. I'm glad it fit in there, because I mean, like, you've lost an Olsen twin, like literally. We looked it up, you guys. She's really lost an entire Olsen twin off of her body. That's how awesome Tammy is kicking ass right now. You know, so like that is a reinvention. That's something way to be proud of. And I was just making the Olsen twin joke, right, for a while, and then she told me how much she lost. So I Googled, how much does Mary-Kate and Ashley weigh? And like, she's actually lost more than an Olsen twin, but I just love to say it.
How much do they weigh?
108.
Oh, okay, yeah, I gotta be 115 today. Yay!
Yes, congratulations.
The muscles. See these?
Look at that.
I got biceps now.
Susan, I got a
And like
pull-up bar
my
in there. Go do
personal
something
trainer
for us. says
your quads are like, you're like so tight up here, and I'm like, no, that's muscle. What's that?
That is so
What'd you say, Michael?
awesome.
Looks like we got some guests popping on, ladies.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, we do. We got.
Paul.
Hey, ladies. Hey, Michael.
Hey, Paul.
Hey, Paul. Hey, Gail.
Is Gail? I can't see Gail's
Can you
picture.
say
Are you
me?
there?
I'm here.
Yes.
Is everybody breaking up, or is it only my phone that's breaking up?
A lot of it is like we do have quite a lag. So everybody, and for those of you watching, I apologize, but sometimes the platform does do that. So be patient with us. We'll try to just make sure that we pause when we're each done speaking and let the other one start. Sometimes Hangouts are just like that. I'm always on the search for a better platform, but the Google Hangouts still really rock. Paul, first of all, I'm sorry. I see that you made that comment that you were open to join, and I was all just consumed in the conversation here, and I didn't see it until now. So anyway, I'm so glad you joined. You jumped on.
Oh, no worries. I was just doing, you know.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm glad you jumped on. And Gail, also, welcome, and I'm glad you jumped on. I'm just going to kind of, just for anybody watching in the audience that doesn't know who you are or what you're doing here, I'm just going to let them know, and then I'll ask you guys to speak on what you think makes a difference with maximizing your impact. So Paul, he can tell maybe a bit about himself and when joined his what's going on, but he's one of our members in the Unstoppable Network, and he is doing exactly this. He's telling his story and how it's changing his life and his family's life and why he's here, and that is making an impact with people. So he definitely knows about relationship building and how to initiate that, be human, and growing within it. So we're glad to have him as a part of our network. And same for Gail. She has a story, and it's her story that brought her into this network with us. and she's leaving an impact like that by storytelling. And so, yeah, it's just a great, great community, and that's what we're all leaving an impact individually and as a community. So that's the cool part of it. So, Paul, do you want to talk on that point a little bit?
Yeah. You know, I mean, as you said, my story is kind of like yours, Susan. I think that's why we relate so much. Not in the sense that the things that I've personally gone through, but people in my love, you know, in my life have gone through, you know, disabilities. My wife does have a disability. We don't call it that, of course, but she, for the lack of a better term, we call it a disability. I have, you know, I have a 1.5-year-old son who's climbing into everything, who's climbing on the stove, and I've sort of got to correct him. So, you know, kind of got to tan his butt, because I'd rather tan his butt than burn his hand while I'm trying to cook something. And, you know, I mean, the whole idea of having an impact, especially in the network marketing realm, is for a long time I try to play this game where it's, you know, I'm having a good time and I'm doing this and doing that, doing another thing. I wasn't relating to people because when the rubber hit the road, I had to tell them the truth. You know, I wasn't having a good time. I was miserable. I was, you know, there's been times that I've had money come in and have people in my upline said, "Oh yeah, you got money come in," and come to find out, it was in a scammy way. The company wasn't a scam, but the people that I was under were so false and so all about money that I would see, you know, money come in and then, yeah, you qualify for this, but no, you don't qualify for that because, you know, some other thing. So, yeah, for the longest time, I tried to just play the game. You know, I tried to be something I wasn't. You know, I mean, I'm a very serious guy. If you see me on here a lot of times, I don't crack a smile because a lot of times I'm continuously thinking about things. You know, but I think you know, creating an impact has to do with who you are, because there's people like you on this earth. There's not people like exactly like you, but there's people who can relate. They can relate to your story. They can relate to your pains. They can relate to your victories. They can relate to, you know, they can relate to you. And it's an odd thing, but when you're fake about, you know, successes and all this other stuff, people know that. There's an energy that goes on there. And people know when you're fake, and you start to repel people. And so, I mean, it was a question that I actually brought up to Tammy yesterday. I was like, what do I, you know, it's a mentoring question, you know, what do I do in this situation? She says, market Paul. It's like, oh yeah, that's a brilliant idea. I forgot all about that. It's like something, you know, that you know, but you need someone to remind you, this is what you do, stay the course. So that's, you know, that's my little 2 cents on maximizing your impact. And of course there's certain vehicles we use to do that. You know, you can you use Facebook and social media and email, you know, Craigslist, Backpage, you know, a whole list of other things that you use to send your voice out to all the world. You know, I mean, you can use so many other things. So that's another, maximizing your impact in that way. It's sort of like a twofold thing. So you're being truthful, you're being real, and you're sharing that reality through different platforms. So that's my 2 cents, and yeah, I'm done.
Love it. Awesome. Like, you were right on. I love how you described it and just made it relatable to you. And that's exactly what it is, right? You want to resonate. There's those 3 magic R's again, right? You want those people through different means. That's your multi-touch. Reach them through email, video, social media posts, on Hangouts in a dynamic discussion like we're doing right here, and be relatable. And you relate to them by telling your story. And you have to keep it real, because as we mentioned earlier, if you're doing something fake, you are going to get caught up. Or if you're did, then what happens when you have a real conversation with them and you're kind of not the person that you were impressing to be? So, yeah, I love what you said. Thanks for jumping out, Paul.
Oh, you're welcome.
Good job.
Gail, do you want to talk about the maximize your impact topic? And thanks again for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me. Yeah, maximizing your impact. Let me reflect just a moment on my story. You know how Facebook goes back and it shows your memories. Well, a year ago today is when Ronnie got out of the hospital. So that really impacted me, just thinking about that what all we went through and how strong he became and how strong I became. Learning from you guys and reaching out to other people, sharing my story about him, and now I'm personally trying to impact people with relating to me in the horse world. You know, I'll send pictures about me on horses or some live streams and hopefully relate to some people that way, impact them. Oh, wow, I had one lady on one of my videos, oh, I want her job. So just trying to reach out and touch people, impact, let them see what we have, because like Paul was saying, the different ways we market, once we put it out there, we're not done, but to me it's the easiest work I've ever done. I didn't know how until I joined this wonderful network, and then I was taught how by the 2 marvelous ladies in this room, both of which I've had the pleasure of meeting. And so I just love you girls to death, and I've learned so much. And the wonderful thing about our business, if you're listening to us and you're interested, you work on your own terms. If you got to take off and go do something like somebody went to New York, somebody went to Chicago. You know, if somebody just came and saw me, what, Susan, in May?
Yes.
Yeah, last month?
One month ago.
Yeah. So that gives us the freedom to be able to do that by our network, by just reaching out to others and resonating with them and impacting what we have with them and showing them a different way, because there's so many scams out there. I've fallen to them. I've wasted money, and it's just so hard. You can't get that money back, you know. It's gone, and then what are you left with? Nothing but empty promises. You won't find that here. We don't make empty promises. We're good as gold, and we stand behind our word. And I just love it. I learn something almost new every day. I love what I do here at the ranch. I love what I do on the computer. It's just a beautiful place to be, and I'm glad to be a part of this growing network. So thank you for having me.
Awesome. Very well said. Very well said, Gail. Thanks for sharing that. Speaking of the 1 year ago, I know Tammy and I both remember that time frame with you very clearly.
Yes, we do.
Tammy, do you have anything to add?
I do. Gail, you're a role model for many, many women. I want you to realize there's so many women that are envious of you right now because you do have a home-based business and you can do it from home. I think sometimes that we just kind of maybe don't know that, or it's not brought up to our attention. But Susan and I do a lot of traveling because we want to not only affect people online but offline. So, example, I'll tell them. They'll say, "Well, what kind of people do you have that come into your network? Who do you and Susan help?" And I'll say, we help anyone that wants to honestly change their life. Like literally, like your circumstance, you had that plank pulled out from underneath you, and you had nothing to you know what I'm saying? So there's many people stuck in that situation, and you took the step and you joined with Susan and I. So yeah, happy anniversary. And I've known you for 4 and 5 years, so it's awesome. People got to realize that this is a long term. You see these members here, you see some people that you haven't, well, we've done community hangouts, but I'm just saying you're a role model for those people. So just remember, they're envious of you. They're very envious.
Oh, thank you.
You're doing awesome. You're welcome.
On that note, I just want to quickly point out that Gail, her husband run a horse ranch, and she is just kind of in the middle, or I'm not sure if have you wrapped harvesting your garden up, Gail?
Not all of it. It's an everyday thing.
Okay,
for a while.
So she does that. Yeah. So she's running her the horse ranch business, harvesting her garden, and she does this business. So yes, that's a prime example of that you can absolutely fit in. There's many different people from all walks of life, and as Paul mentioned, he has a 1.5-year-old that is into everything, and a wife who needs extra assistance and support from him. So literally, and that's why we have these dynamic conversations, so that different members of the community are coming out and sharing their pieces of the story, so that we can maximize our impact with you. That's the purpose of that, just to kind of like sum this up. Because if you're only listening to Tammy and I all the time, then maybe you won't, resonate with the eclectic kind of community that we have here. I want to take a moment and just come at maximizing your impact from a different angle, and specifically because we have Michael Bellini on here with. Because I think it's kind of a cool city anyway, but I did come to hang out with Mr. Michael. So and I won't release, because I kind of want to release the whole thing, or the end result all at once. And Tammy, don't be mad. Don't be mad, Tam.
Yikes, what is she gonna say now?
I don't know.
No, it's because I'm holding a bunch of the great details back from Tammy too. I want to surprise her when this project is all complete.
Yeah, why do you think I'm driving out there tomorrow?
She hasn't seen any bits and pieces of the project yet? Susan?
No, she hasn't shared a thing with me. She knows I love surprises.
Let me put it this way, Tammy. So we've recently done this similar projects for our business, right? So I'm trying to be vague because I don't know what I'm not supposed to say. So we've done this project recently for our own business, and we're doing it now for Susan's, right? And as we're finishing it, I looked at my business partner the other day. I'm like, shit, I'm jealous. I'm like, I want hers. And he's like, I know, me too. But we're not going to do it. We just did it again this year. I'm like, no, we're not doing it again. But like, Susan's is so good, we're jealous, and we did it. It's our own fault.
I might have to mute Susan. Sorry.
Ah!
I might have to mute myself. Sorry, not you.
Oh, you yourself. Oh, okay. Susan sparking. So wait. I just kind of jumped in there. What do you want? What are we talking about, Susan?
Maximizing impact.
So we're talking about you wanted to talk about maximizing impact from a different angle.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So what I'm talking about and what it has in reference to Michael Leedy, I'll have to be kind of a little bit vague, of course, because I'm not showing it. But anyway, sometimes you have, in order to maximize your impact, your content needs to be presentable, and
right.
Sometimes what happens is, like what was happening with me, is you spread yourself too thin and you have to outsource, you have to look to others who are doing specifically what you need to have done, which is another cool, huge benefit of being within a community of like-minded people, because as we said in the beginning, everybody has, and Paul actually mentioned this, and he wasn't even here in the video when we were talking about that, but we are all unique, and yet we have similar qualities, so that makes the like fitting together like pieces of a puzzle. And then when you work together in collaboration, everybody wins because you're working together, right? You're helping each other, you're supporting, you're respecting, and it just works and melds really well together. So something that I needed help with. I reached out. I mean, Michael and I have known each other for, oh gosh, is it 3 or 4 years now, Michael? I'm not sure.
Something.
But speaking of impact, we met the same way that Tammy and I did. We met on a hangout, and he left an impact, well, just because of his crazy magnetic personality, but he showed up to the hangout with no shirt, with crazy personality, and I'm like, I'm going to work with that guy. And now we be family, and he's just on the other wall. I actually overtook his office, and I'm hanging out at his place. So that's literally the kind of community that we have. Talk about maximizing your impact, right? So I just wanted to Paul, do you have anything to add on that?
Well, it's interesting, maximizing impact, and we're talking about joining forces. So, okay, everybody. You all have unique. I've been taking notes on what everybody's saying, so I'm going to kind of like tie things up, like kind of connect all the dots with conversations that are already happening. Tammy is talking about home-based business, work from home. Gail's doing it. Gail's talking about her story. Tammy mentioned Gail getting the plank pulled out from underneath her, and so she had to kind of like shift. Me, my personal story, I didn't even get the plank pulled out. I stepped off it, right? Because I was like, you know what, I need to change, and the only way it's going to happen is if I just make it happen. Paul mentioned, people relate to you and your story, right? So you have all these pieces, and you have all these things that you want to do, and you have your specific set of skills and whatever your product is. The challenge in the network marketing, work from home business, when getting started is you're trying to do everything. And there's no way to maximize your impact when you do everything. So what I ended up doing was collaborating with a fellow. So I would have been wanting to do social media development, help people syndicate their content properly using whatever platforms that their target audience is on. But in doing that, you need web design and web development. I don't care about HTML and coding. I can do it, but I don't care. That being said, I've teamed up with somebody who's amazing at that. So now all of a sudden, half my plate is clear and half his plate is clear because I'm doing the other stuff that he doesn't want to do. All of a sudden, we're maximizing impact. Same thing with Tammy and Susan. As soon as they joined up and joined forces, all of a sudden, they're like helping so many people right now. Like, she's telling me numbers and stuff of like how many people they're helping, and I'm going, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And other leaders are seeing them and what they're doing, and they're talking to them because they have maximized impact. So if you're watching this and you're learning from these ladies, and you're becoming part of this community where you go on hangouts. And, yes, thank you, Tammy. I agree. I'm glad.
I want to high five.
You're meeting. Yes, there. You're hanging on these hangouts. I met Susan on a hangout. I met Tammy on a hangout. Susan and Tammy met on a hangout. Like this. I mean, like. Susan and I met Robert, that's my business partner, on Twitter, you guys, on Twitter. We have never met in person. He lives in Ireland. We're building a business. We're getting great results. We have clients that are coming back we have never met in person, right? All because we're putting ourselves out there, because now, you know, we can maximize our results because we're actually able to do the stuff we care about, which is what you're learning from Susan and Tammy here. And even like, so Paul and Gail are sharing their stories that they're getting from us. So you're getting examples of what they can do for you by two of their people. And I'm included in there too, but from a different angle, you know? So that's a whole different story, which we'll come back to when Susan talks about the thing that she's not talking about on a different day. Okay, I think I'm done, Susan. I think I said a whole bunch of things.
Are you done? Are you done? Okay, I just have to pause there just for a moment, you guys. Do you see this guy?
What?
I don't know. She's giggling. I lost her.
Me too.
Oh, you didn't hear that?
No.
Oh, shucks. Tammy, did you?
Repeat it.
I just heard you go. I don't know. You're.
And everybody's
repeat it.
silent.
Okay.
There we go.
I said, do you guys? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. I said, do you see why I love this guy?
I'm slightly animated, you guys. I'm slightly animated.
More than me. More than Tammy. Like, you're crazy.
He's
It's
really
like, there's not a lot
animated.
to
I love
say.
it.
This is fun. I love that you include me in these in these groups. This is fun, and I love to meet new people. Sorry. Okay. You know me. I'll keep talking if you let me. So we better put a pause.
I
on
know.
it.
Okay.
He's worse than me then. She's always said I'm just a, you know. Oh man.
Okay. Closing thoughts, Tammy.
Think about, this is what I've always done. I've projected myself 3 months, 6 months, 10 months. You know, I do a lot of in my mind projections. I will do immediate projection to Susan, and the thing is, when you think about and you write down and you do it now, like when is now a good time to do things, right? When is now a good time to do things? Ask yourself that. Like literally, yourself, okay, who do I want to help? How do I want to get my message across? Because you have knowledge. Knowledge that is up here, and if you've been selfish, is what I was told. So you have to have that knowledge out there. And you have to change. If you're in the people business or in any business, if you're self-employed or even working for someone, you're there to help people. Unless you're helping dogs or something like that, you're still helping the people because you're helping their dogs. So that's what I wanted to say. You're going to have it when you do it now. You know what I'm saying? Like now is a good time to get started. To do things now, not next week, not tomorrow, not today. When you say, Susan, it was awesome. These are excellent hangouts, and they're always near and dear to my heart because of how we met. And so, yes, I appreciate that.
Can I add to your now thing, Tammy? Can I jump in real quick?
Mm-hmm.
I guess I just interrupted. So
I love you to jump into my now. Jump into my now.
I am here. What Tammy's talking about was start now, and there's no better time to start now, the now thing. And here's why. If you wait, it's going to take, because starting now takes a bit of time and adjustment to get your gripping and get your sturdy foundation. Okay, it's going to take a second. And that second is frustrating as all get out. Going to be clear and transparent on that one. It's frustrating because you're learning new skills. When you learn to walk, you fall a lot, right? That's what babies do. They fall, but they figure it out. When you're learning a new skill or new skills, you fall. If you don't start now and you start a year from now, guess what's going to take another year to figure out? So start now. That's all I want to have. I had to, because that pain, because, right? So I'm just coming out of the pain, right? And so I can say, start now, because you want that pain over with. Rip off the effing Band-Aid, because if you don't start now, it's going to hurt later. Okay, I'm done. Sorry, I had to throw that in.
Yeah, very good point. I mean, it's just we are procrastinators by nature. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is that I wish I would have known about high ticket affiliate sales before I lost a lot of stuff. See what I'm saying? Like if people just realized that it's the dollar you start with, right? You start with $1, and then you work up to, you know, I've made $1 in a day. Okay, well, I made $500 in a day. Now it's like, okay, I've made $10,000 in a day. I made 10,000. See what I mean? Like, if you don't start, though, you will never experience that elating feeling. And I'm not saying, you know, I mean, money is a rush. What money can do for you is different. So yeah, start now.
That's a really good point, Tammy. Absolutely a good point. Anybody else?
That's why you hang around me, right? You still.
Absolutely. And a long list of other reasons.
1007?
Yeah. Anybody else have any closing thoughts?
No, other than it's just great to be here and loving life and just this wonderful business we've all discovered, and can't wait to help other people. And I hope you all pay attention to this and listen and understand that what we have is real, and we can make your dreams come true if you just let us have the opportunity. That's it. And do it now.
Awesome. Now is the time to do it.
Now. Don't think about it. Don't wait till next week, because you'll come up with another excuse. Do it now. Just like Michael said. And Susan. And Tammy. All of us here.
Can I add something on that too? So
Yes.
so Gail can say Paul and Paul.
Okay, Paul. And you too, Paul.
So yeah, the thing about what the heck has just happened here? For some odd reason, hold on a second, my computer's plugged in, but for some odd reason, it's not getting any juice. Oh, because it's not plugged in.
I hear you.
All right,
Give me
cool.
a second.
All right, cool. So anyway, yeah, to add on that now, especially if you're young, you know, I mean, if you're watching this and you might be someone in their 20s who are watching this, I know when I got started in this industry, I was in my 20s and I just procrastinated. I was too busy being fearful on the things that I didn't want to do, rather than passing it off or just driving through the fear, that I spent year after year after year after year after year after year, and then into my mid-30s. Now, you know, when I was in my 20s, I was single, I didn't have a child, didn't have a whole lot of responsibilities, and you have more, truthfully, you have more time to, you know, in that age, you know, if you're not married or whatever, to get your business going, so that when you do move into relationships and move into having a family and move into all this stuff, now you got that foundation, set up. You have your, on top of that foundation, you have your proverbial house set up, and when family comes in, it's not that big of a deal. And I can tell you from experience right now, it's tough for me to you know, jump on these hangouts and do these things. Now I still do, but it'd been a whole lot easier if I would have taken that last 10 years and start building instead of making excuses of why I didn't do things. And now, you know, we're making it happen. We're unstoppable. Everybody on this webinar is. I'm just saying that doing it now, like what Michael and Tammy and Susan and Gail said, it's the best time, because you're not gonna. It's not gonna get any easier tomorrow. It's gonna get the easiest that your life will probably ever be if you don't do it now is right now. And if you procrastinate, it's going to get harder and harder and harder and harder until you look back in 30 years, you're like, oh my gosh, you know, what did I do? Why did I blow that last 30 years? What was I doing? So get started now. You know, whatever you're doing, do it now. If you need to lose weight, do it now. I'm so inspired by what Tammy's been doing. I've actually been cutting down my carbs, and when she was talking about Chicago pizza, I was like, oh yeah, that's right. We make this like amazing thick pizza that I don't need to eat the crust on, and just, you know, it's like, oh wow,
That's
I
crazy,
can.
man.
Oh man, yeah, it's good.
And you
It's-
know what? The cool part about it is now after a year, it doesn't even bother me.
Right.
Like, it doesn't even bother me seeing carbs. All I see is, hey, I get in my sexy bag. That's all I see.
Yeah.
But
And you know what? There was addictions I went through, and I'm not going to share them on the webinar, but there was addictions that I went through for probably, I think, close to 20 years, and I made a conscious decision that this was done. And for the first, 21 days or something like that, it was hard. And now, when that stuff tries to present itself to me again, it's like, I don't even want to do this. This is stupid. This is ugly. It's gross. So
well, I'll tell you the reason why people will stop and they will start cheating again is because they don't have anything to look forward to.
right.
Like Susan said, do you want to do an event? And I said, did she just say something to me? I'm looking around like, seriously, she just said, oh shit, she said that to me. Okay, yeah, well, I better get,
Yeah.
I better get my buns in gear that day. I did it now. Like you don't do it tomorrow. If you have okay, like I've done this before in this exercise before. If you're gonna die next week, what would you get done? If you're gonna go on a vacation tomorrow, what would you do? You'd make a list, wouldn't you? If you knew the date that your life was ending, I bet you $1 you'd get a lot more done and you'd reach a lot more people. And that's exactly what I went through. It was a major event that I went through this weekend. 3 days of just intensive, mind-blowing stuff. Constantly saying, what are you doing now? What are you doing now? What are you doing today? What are you doing this second? Your time is worth so much that you have to understand whatever you're doing with that time, make sure that it's time that you're making money or a money-making activity.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, of course you got to relax, but hey, even yesterday or day before, whatever it was, I was at the Bean, and all of a sudden I got a text, Tammy, I'm ready to sign up now. Well, are you going to say, oh, wait until I have this cappuccino, or wait until you know what I mean? No, now is when they want to do it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because time is the only commodity you'll never get back. You can get
Correct.
anything. You can get money back. You can get you can get your family back if you screw that up. You can get that stuff back. Time, you'll never ever. It's impossible. It's impossible to get your time back. It's and people, especially in the personal development. It's said that everybody's given 24 hours, and it's what you do with it that causes you either be a success or a failure. So, I mean, yeah, that's it. I mean, that's it. So.
And I know where you were now, Paul. Now all the pictures and what you've been describing of Chicago, it was just amazing. It was mind-blowing. And we're going to do an event there. I told Susan, and we're going to get people on that tilt. I mean, this thing was, wow, I know this is off the subject, but, oh, man. I was like, you know what? I got up there 96 stories, okay, and I did it because I used to be afraid of heights. I mean, I even went to the window, and I put my hands on it. I'm like, wow. I can do this.
Is that at the Sears Tower?
But that tilt, I don't know. I'll have to do some more of the wand from Susan, because she talks me through the stuff. Just like the night before the 5K, I had to talk to her. So, but anyway, wow, yeah, this is powerful stuff that we're getting into now. But I'll pass it to you, Susan.
I'll do the
Gets
tilt.
me all excited, energetic.
I'll do the tilt.
Okay, let's do the
I don't
tilt
even know what the tilt is.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh, wow. I'll show you a Facebook picture. I'll tag you on it.
Is it in Chicago? This sucks.
Yeah, it's on the.
I've lived in Illinois for 36 years, and I don't know what the tilt is.
It's on
It's like,
top of the. It's on top of the John Hancock building that I went up.
oh, okay.
And that was the fastest elevator I've ever been on. I think I counted 20 seconds.
Oh,
As
did
in-
you go to the Willis, or well, we call it Sears Tower. People in Chicago refuse to call it Willis Tower. But
I
did
call
you,
it the Sears Tower. I didn't get to go to that one. I got to go to the John Hancock one.
yeah, I believe Sears Tower is even faster.
Wow. My ears popped and wow. Going
Yeah,
up
I
and
mean-
down and I was wow.
Yeah, so.
It's insane.
I thought of a point while Paul was talking. Can I drop this out here? Am I allowed to do this? Oh, my battery's gonna die. Shit. I'm just gonna go quick because I feel like we're gonna be done soon. So listen, you guys. Paul was talking about young people, right? Talking about people in their 20s, talking about people in their 30s. And here's the thing. If you're a baby boomer, okay, and you're older, or maybe you're even retired and you're thinking, oh, I'm just gonna do nothing. Listen, I should look at the camera, not my freaking screen. If you're older and you're retired or you're just looking for something to do, these ladies are where you want to start because you have skills. You've built businesses. You've been doing management. You've been doing so many things throughout your entire life. All you need to do is learn a few new skills so you can tap into this online stuff. So if you're that person and you're like, I need to do something, but I don't want to do anything, I don't want to learn anything, these two can help you learn what you need to learn so that you can do simple things to generate your incomes. And especially if you're a baby boomer, this is the perfect team to tap into because you've already got skills. You just need to learn how to shift them. And that's what Tammy and Susan do. So I just wanted to throw that in because it came to me while Paul was talking. Now I'm really done. Have a good day, you guys.
So, can you guys hear me? Am I showing
Yeah.
up?
Yep, you're good.
Okay. This is a crazy hangout for poor reception in amongst crazy, awesome, valuable content. I'm so happy with it. So that, I guess, wraps up our live hangout from New York. Live from New York. How crazy is that?
Live from New York. It's Wednesday night.
That's right.
Wednesday
Let us know when we're on
afternoon.
our way. We are.
Bitchy bingo! Drag queens and everything.
Oh God, I better end it.
Oh, really?
I have the control. I have the red button.
Yeah. So speaking of impact, yeah, that's exactly what we came here to do. And if you've been watching this entire hangout, first of all, high five and congrats for staying for the whole thing. Whether it's the recording or you're watching it live. Second of all, if you're wondering, well, what is it that they do? Just get back with the person that invited you. One of the main things that we do is we're consistent. Every Wednesday we come to you with Hangout with Mentors. So sometimes it's Tammy and I, and sometimes it's like this, a panel filled with an eclectic group of amazing, amazing people, all unstoppable. And we consistently come, bring you dynamic conversations, personalities, stories, value, sometimes like very specific steps to follow in some sort of training. We've covered lead generation from multiple angles, et cetera, et cetera. I try to have it set up so that the members have access to a page that has all the past Hangouts. So just get back with whoever invited you, and you can have access to past Hangouts, whatever topic interests you, is near and dear to you, or that you're curious about. But my main point is if you're wondering what it is that we do to make so much money that we're increasing our freedom options, then just get back with the person that invited you, and it's completely explained in automated videos, so you don't have to do any selling or telling. that's kind of what I want to close out with. And thank you so much, each of you on the panel, again, for making these conversations so awesome. It's really part of the business that I absolutely love. It overflows my heart and my brain and just all of me. I absolutely love it. And that's really all I have to say, because I'm going to go change my clothes and get ready for a bitchy bingo.
And don't even ask, like literally, yeah, okay. All I can say is better take the video streams. Okay, guys, it's been yeah, I mean, you guys are awesome, man. It's a great way to make a living, is helping other people and have fun. You know, I've always said it, making money does not have to be difficult or hard or, you know, like grumpy. You don't have to be grumpy, you know, you can have fun here. So anyway, definitely it's been awesome, and I think that's a wrap. Thanks, Gail. Michael, thank you. Oh my God, Paul, I wish I could have met you in Chicago. You're awesome too. And it's been great. So next time, okay, bud?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, guys, thanks a lot.